normally film these?
They started this year.
Really?
Mhm.
Would have, done something with myself. No.
I started to at the beginning, and it just.
Why? Well, yep, welcome to the April 1st Finance Committee meeting, called to order at 5:35. All right, so tonight we're gonna review the Board of Assessors budget with Paula Wolf. Yeah, so we started these upstairs. They put new equipment up there, so upstairs, when you watch it, it's like a day delay.
Mhm.
There's no editing or anything, it just, the way the equipment is, it just goes out the next day, and these are live.
Okay.
Yeah, because just like the selectmen's.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So your budget hasn't changed from when you submitted it originally?
No,
Okay, great.
and came in at 2.16.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. The salaries might change a little bit. They didn't have their finalized, I wasn't gonna mess with it and then say, oh, here's the net. It's very close.
Okay.
It's just they finally finalized their budget, but I think they just basically did a 2% and stayed with the same steps, so it should be.
Okay. So is that the clerical?
That's the clerical unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a full-time administrative assistant, and she went up. And then two clerical, two part-time people.
Okay.
Yeah, and I brought the part-time down because what happened was last year when last year's was done before I signed my contract.
Okay.
So when I did sign my contract, I ended up taking my longevity. And I had to find it in my budget. At least I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I did.
Okay.
And I took it from an increase in hours for one of my clerks. That's just how I worked it out. I've been doing that right along, so I don't,
So you didn't do longevity last
If I increase salaries or
year?
I increase stipends or anything happens in my department, it comes out of my department.
Right.
Like, I don't ever come over budget. Never have.
Okay.
So.
So the longevity, you just didn't do it last year?
No, I didn't. I had, you have to have like a certain time when you can do it.
Yes.
So I decided to do it for the next 3.
Okay.
And that's how I came up with it. So we were going to increase one of the clerks. We're gearing up next year for the recertification through the state. It used to be every 3 years.
Right.
Then it went to every 5 years. And I happened to be the one that got the full 5 years.
Oh.
So it's been 5 years.
Okay.
But I have some left over I carry it over all the time. It's from the last one we did, the valuation, because I used to ask for some at town meeting.
Yeah.
I believe I have enough in there to get me through, combined with my valuation budget for this year.
Oh, great.
I think I will. I'll have a real good idea by next spring, and
Yep.
then this will take me till next year, and most
Right,
of the
it's a
work
year.
occurs prior to June.
Right.
But then if I find myself needing a little bit more to boost July, August, before we really if they ask me for additional certification requirements, which they sometimes do,
Okay.
maybe my maps need to be changed a little or tweaked, I still would be able to, I believe, go into that valuation maintenance,
Okay.
into the following year of valuation maintenance.
And so you're saying that now they're doing it instead of 3 years, so you're on your 5, you got the full 5, so we won't see this
For another 5 years.
another 5 till like 2025?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
I changed it a while back and tried to do it, every year we take a little, this covers like the interims that they do and things like that. But on the year they do the certification,
Yeah.
the interim's not done.
Okay.
And then I usually ask for, it's between 20 and 30 that we've always asked for $1,000 to cover all the costs. The commercial's the big cost.
Yep.
But I worked out like half of the commercial last year, and I think it'll be fine to use towards next year. So it just, there's a little bit of that, my budget it moves because of that a little
Okay.
bit. But I think usually I'm pretty funded, and then if we have to do something more ourselves, we do it. And
You don't see a lot of different valuations coming in though, right?
No,
I mean, 'cause it's just.
It's steady, and right now
Yeah.
it's steady and up.
Okay,
So, but I have to prove every year where the sales are to what the houses are valued at, and stay within a 10%, it's called, so it's gotta either be 1.05
Yeah.
or 95, or, or 90 to 100. So we try to stay about 95% of values. So if your house is being valued at 300,000, it's, it'll probably sell for maybe 315. We stay
Yep.
under a little bit, that's.
Right.
You don't want to be
Normal.
doing a lot of abatements and having people, so it works out well. It's kind of the preferred way that the state likes it done, and we stay right on the mark.
okay, great.
Mass appraisals. Yeah, we did, the only thing, I increased, in-state mileage because we lost another car. We get leftovers.
So yeah.
We get leftovers from the fire and the police, and we finally retired the Tahoe. We would be breaking down a little too often, and then I would have to pay for the repairs, and I'm like,
No.
that's okay. And the girls were tired of the women that would go out and do inspections, were like, felt better in their own car than that thing after a while.
So mileage, just
So
pay the
mileage might go up, and we're hoping that, I don't know, that in a forward plan, maybe we'll be able to lease something, or the chief said he might have something that's a little newer going,
Yeah.
so we're keeping our eye out, but that'll work okay. It's just
So-
nice to have something with the blue plates on it.
Right. So for the mapping services,
Yeah, that's,
so you went up $500 in that, and what's that?
actually,
Is that-
if I did a needs budget, that would probably be higher. We're kind of running on basic bone mapping. What's happening, and
And that's just maps of our town roadways?
It used to
or
be maps
roads?
of our town roadways. Now
Okay.
it's GIS.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, we
those
talked
have
about
to
this.
be up to level 3 in the state. Now, for an example, the police just got a 9/11 grant. But part of that grant was that these maps from our office, that we need to be submitted with new addresses and things like twice a year. Well, we only used to do it once a year. So there's a
You'd think in
lot
our
of
town
little-
where there wasn't huge growth, you would still only need to do them once.
Yeah, no, it's not about well, it's just about making sure that your new houses are on there, and
Yeah.
the new addresses for the services, police and fire. So it's just more and more being required of us by that. And it costs money. It costs money to have, and it's sooner or later, it's gonna get to a point where it will be beyond something that you can do in our office. Like, it would make sense to have a GIS person
Yeah,
eventually, simply because every department is now using it and
Yep.
being required to do these different things with it.
Right.
But it's a great tool. So, it's just
Yeah.
kind of, as anything, technology, and
right.
especially in municipalities, they're going forward and they're requiring different things.
So other people use the GIS, and there's a software component for yours
Mhm.
as well?
Yeah, so
And do you use that, like, do you know how to use it for the maps? and-
Yeah, we
Okay.
use it for our maps, so we currently pay, that's the other thing, I don't even have, I usually
Maintenance
take
fees?
some away from the valuation, and it all comes out, it's fine, I mean.
Right.
But, then the selectman's office, I used to pass that in.
Yep.
And they covered, 3,000 of it, and that kept everything online. Everyone can go in and look at the maps online now.
Okay.
So that covered that part, and then I took over a 3,000 and a 2,000, and Patrick upstairs in building has
Yeah.
GIS also, so he has another thing.
He was telling
So it's
us.
a lot of components of it. It would be nice if eventually we could get it all under one roof, since it's kind of in all departments.
Yeah.
And now
Have you talked to the, and I think
IT.
Patrick has too, talked to the IT
Yeah, actually,
gentleman?
just today, spoke to him, and we're going to, all the department heads that use it, are
Mhm.
meeting in 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
And we're gonna get that going, and kind of get a plan going, whether it
That'd be
be a
great.
3-year, 5-year. And we'll figure it out.
Just to consolidate
There's a-
work and,
Yeah, and if there's new growth coming in, you know, if we do end up auctioning off some of our town land, and then that.
The pieces
brings
again?
in- Yeah, then that brings in some new growth, and then maybe you can take some of that new growth that becomes operational in a budget every year to
Which-
a little bit of it to say, all right, this was my idea, you know, trying to think out of the box on where we would get, how to support that. And that may be something we could think about.
yeah, that would be good.
And then that would be what would drive it, because it would be more coming in. So besides that, it's,
Okay.
those were the two, you know, that was the large chunk longevity, but luckily I had that.
So can we go back just to the salaries for a second, just so I can,
Yeah.
just wanted to just talk about that quickly. So you took it away because you took hours away? Is that,
Well, I was scheduled to, I have a principal and a senior clerk. One
Yep.
does 26 hours and one does 20 hours.
Yeah.
So last year, when I came in and saw you with my budget, I was bumping her up 3 hours.
okay,
And then in the end, when I ended up doing my contract, which was later, like in maybe June, maybe May,
yeah,
part of the thing was, I wanted to put in longevity, and I had to figure out how I was gonna do it.
okay,
So instead of bumping her up 3 hours, I utilized that money.
all right. I see what you're saying, okay. So it was built in and then you, okay,
I had
I get
to
it now.
switch it around a little
Yep.
bit. And that, while that was taking place, we were just kept going back, and my contract went on the back burner of getting the budget done, which it always does, so it was fine, it wasn't
Yep.
late, but.
okay. Do you guys have any questions
No.
for Paula?
You answered, you asked most of them.
It's pretty straightforward.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Not a lot of lines.
My point 16, I was hoping that would be it.
Yeah, no, you answered everything.
Okay, great,
All right, great, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Paula.
Actually,
Thanks for
could,
making it.
could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
When you walk by Melissa, could
Tell her
you?
to come on down.
Tell her, yeah, we're
Sure, she
running
won't.
early.
Yeah, she's,
We'll
I have
help
a
her.
meeting at 6 with my board, so I appreciate you.
Yeah,
doing
no
just a little
problem,
bit, and I'll go
but
back.
we'll help her through
Yeah,
it.
she was, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
There you go, I was gonna say, I heard heels.
Hi,
Hi.
good, how are you?
Good, I'm Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. I'm Michelle Hearn.
Michelle.
Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
you.
Sebastian.
Nice to meet you.
Crystal Hudson.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Michelle, bringing, what I need to.
Yep.
This is
so
my
what-
first time
Did you
at
bring
rodeo,
the
so-
budget that you had submitted?
That Erica submitted, yes.
Yeah, okay. So what we usually do is kind of get a general overview if you kind of have things changing or if there's anything,
Mhm.
you know, just kind of lay it out.
Yep.
But what we can do if it's easier is we can just go through line by line, talk about, or, you know, in groupings, just big changes of what you're seeing. I know that we had talked about, and you had got GIC numbers in.
Yep, I did reduce the health insurance figure because.
Oh, they came in
the
lower?
Rates didn't come in as high as expected.
Oh, wow.
I did some calculations, and I still want to do an average.
Yep.
But I did bring it down. Actually, I'll give you these.
Now, does that fluctuate usually based on how many people go into those plans? Or is it just from the state?
It's from the state.
Okay.
And these are just a couple of the pages that I did update. You'll see
Okay.
the salary, the
No, that's perfect.
insurance. Today's only day 16 for me, so I
Yeah.
have
We're very, no,
very,
that's.
very amazing shoes to try to fill.
Yes.
And, there's about 700 spreadsheets for each
Yes.
thing, and she was a whiz. So I'm trying to piece the pieces together. So I did the
Yeah,
best I could do
no
for
problem.
today. I did go through the salaries, and you'll see that they did decrease because for a couple reasons, my salary as opposed to Erica's.
Yep,
Less the, also the stipend. So
Okay.
there was a change there. So that did decrease overall.
okay, so you're taking out the 1,000 stipend.
Mm-hmm. That's not in my
Yep,
contract there. And then, again, you can see what the budgeted fiscal 19 salary for her was, and mine is,
yep, that's fine.
yeah. And then I did, as I said, I did go through the insurance rates. They did not go up, it's just, that it was a blanket approximately 7%, and then you have to estimate or guesstimate
Yeah.
for changes. People going from individual to family plans.
Right.
It really depends on your employee base. And,
Yeah.
I used to work for a school department in Braintree, and I found we had a lot of young teachers, and we had a lot of people
Babies.
getting married, moving
Yep.
into family plans, et cetera, right? So I worked off of some couple prior years and put an estimate in for that. So
Okay.
between that and the changes in the insurance rates themselves, which at between 3 and 4, a little over 4%, in general, the rates went up. So it was much nicer than 7%.
Yep,
Yeah, that's great.
that is good.
Yeah, so that's that change. And then Erica had estimated also we did do a new bonding in
Right,
March. So I
yep.
put those new numbers on the interest and,
Okay, yeah, that's what, I
Yeah,
had, I have
the
some of that
long-term debt.
paperwork, actually.
So on the budget we're looking at,
So we should be looking at your budget.
right, because it's not gonna necessarily match this, because
Not-
this has the 7.
Right, so
Unlike the insurance, it's got the 7%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so,
Do you have, you don't have this format, do you?
it's probably, I think George puts those into the system.
Yeah,
now.
he does, and then he prints them out. I just
Right.
didn't know.
That was how, I mean, I
Okay.
could probably,
That's all right, we can,
I could probably get them put in. I used to use SoftWrite where I used to work.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of connections there in Braintree, and the finance director can tell me how to put them in if I'm allowed access to that.
right.
I can help to update that.
No, it looks like there wasn't many changes on the front page. I mean, I
Yeah.
see the clerical and the, yeah, so this is basically, this is the budget, pretty much. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, there's not
it's
much.
quite a
I mean,
bit.
there's only a couple of
Yeah.
things that I was able to, that I changed.
What? Yeah.
but just slightly.
Yeah, so instead of this,
Mhm.
it's this.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
it's enough,
which,
it's good.
I don't want to talk about debt quite yet. Yeah, that's just the debt service. So, one question for you though. The clerical salaries.
Mhm.
I notice on your budget you have them the same for because you have 3 clerks. But
When Erica put it in, she had put it in with the new salary schedule.
okay, did you put it, so you didn't put yours in with the new salaries?
Mine's, I.
Not
depending
yours,
on-
I'm talking your clerks.
These will be their steps and rates as of July 1.
Okay. So,
Barely went up from last year, if that's because
I see, no, because the schedule we got from George is a bit higher than what you
I
have.
think it was already included.
I think,
It's the 196.3 he put in, which matches.
but 196.3 is the same as 19,
Right, it's almost.
almost the same.
Because we had an employee who doesn't work in the department anymore, and she had,
Oh.
was at the highest rate plus an 8%.
Okay, so that
She's
is gone now, and now you have,
50,000, 50-something
Yep.
thousand range.
that
Okay.
makes sense
So,
then.
because I looked at that 3 times, I'm like, didn't I put in these? I'm like, did
It's
I
just-
put that in from last year?
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
just so
It's just so
close.
close, okay.
Yeah, I think it was 195 something last year. So, yeah, it was,
Yep, for the budget, so, okay, so he had it higher only because of that, it looks like.
Yeah.
But it was only,
Just-
what, 800 bucks? Yeah, that's the only. Right, because all the longevity, sick, vacation buyback, treasurer's stipend, you aren't getting that, right?
no,
All right, so it looks like it's still in your FY '20 budget, though. You left it in? Is that on the second page of your,
oh, no, it says 0. Oh, yeah, it does. I'm sorry, I didn't.
no worries, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, if both of the pages. Yeah, because they don't match. So we want to take out 196, 280. So that's gonna come down by 1,000
Yep.
on this page. This page, it looks like you took it out. Yep. So took it out there. 19, 20.
So the rest of it's all fine.
And then everything else you kept the same. So this would actually be minus 1,000. Because
Insurance went down, that's the only other difference. on
yeah,
this
that's the
page.
only thing is just insurance and
2,000, so that's good.
the 1,000 for her salary.
Actually,
I mean, for the
similar.
stipend.
Yep.
Other than that, it all ties out. There's
Yep.
nothing, no changes.
So as you mentioned, you're comfortable with this health insurance number, that'll be kind of the.
Yeah,
way to
you
go
know, again,
forward.
I looked at a couple of years, how much they estimate for the open enrollment changes.
Right.
the
Because open enrollment's
stipends.
coming up, right?
It is,
It-
it
yeah.
is. Well, it actually starts Wednesday.
Okay.
And so, between that, and then you have to estimate the stipend, healthcare stipends for the people who don't take the insurance, and it's in their contract that they get the
They get-
$1,500.
Yep,
So,
right, and then you have, because you have also too, the folks who have retired that still get, right? That still get insurance?
right, they're in this.
They're in there too,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Okay.
it's based on the December bill and the number of
Oh,
enrollments.
okay,
In
yeah.
each category.
So being a best guess guess of where we are today, open enrollment, we go through this period, now understanding that obviously timing-wise, it kind of doesn't line up perfectly for us for finalizing the budget. And I don't remember if we made any last-minute adjustments based on.
It ends in
open
May,
enrollment. It
so
ends in May, which
we'll
is
know.
probably,
You
it's a
know
little
what,
too-
I don't
think we did.
I don't think we did, or it was just adjusted in the number.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to go back and look at it, because I don't think the budget changed, I think maybe number changed, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so, I think, yeah,
Unless there was something that's totally drastic, but might be
No,
something
I
for
don't
us to be
think- yeah.
looking at, just kind of like, where we ended up and then, where we best guessed it, and then where we
Yeah.
actually ended up, and how close we come.
so I think at
Yeah.
this point, your
It is
estimate's probably,
best
you know,
guess, Yeah.
Well, dental didn't go up, so we're kind of,
yeah.
Eric.
We were lucky too at
did
work,
what
that
she
didn't go up.
Just guessed, same as last year. 'Cause
Yeah.
dental isn't a big change,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. So, shall we talk debt?
Eh.
I know what I know about debt, but I'm.
Yeah. It's all right. So the FY19, we have the budget request, and then the FY20 budget is just the dollar amounts, the
Mhm.
payments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's gone down about 62, and that looks like we have, so it looks like the high school and central school roof, the first one is falling off. Town Bannerman property, that's fallen off. School window glazing. Yeah, so these, a lot of these small
Yeah.
that had been bonded over like 3 years or something like
Mhm.
that.
Short-term debt.
Yeah, short-term.
Was just satisfied.
Yeah.
That fire truck just fell off. Good to know.
Where?
Down a little. Oh, I'm looking on the other sheet, sorry.
I was gonna say, 'cause the fire truck here, they just need 30,000 instead of 35.
Oh, maybe that's, okay, yeah.
But no, falling off would be the zeros, yeah. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of these too will, a bunch of things will fall off next year. Yeah, so I actually have a question, no, never mind, I don't have a question. Yeah, this is all the newer stuff down that we
Yeah,
have
those
done.
last 4 items.
The
is
bottoms,
One
yeah.
last bond that we
Yep.
just did, that they did in March.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So not really a lot there. I mean, we have some down, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to see things falling off. And this is just all the interest.
Yeah, there's a page of principal, a page of interest.
Yep.
There's the 2 schedules.
Yep.
Is this the debt number that one of the other departments was waiting for? Was that the, DPW?
TV, that's the water table.
Yeah, that they didn't fill it in their budget because they were waiting. They usually get it directly from town hall. I'm just thinking out loud.
I know they do something with, no, they should still have this.
They didn't
They
have
should
it in their
have-
budget, yeah.
They should still have the,
Yeah, I just don't think they had it filled in because they were waiting on the number.
yeah, but it doesn't change.
I could be wrong, it might not be that line item.
Actually, I was looking at the DPW budget earlier. It looks like he has it.
Okay.
In something, hold on. I think water is at the end. Water.
Might not have been in that one, it might have been in the other.
Yeah, see, well, number 5, pay down, they have that.
Okay, he has that.
No, I think this is is this maybe what you're talking about? These water mains?
Might be. Yeah,
But I don't think that's,
yeah, no, that might not be it. I might just have
Yeah.
remembered they needed something. Okay, I thought that was it.
all right. Well, I have to say, your budget's it's pretty straightforward, and we knew it wasn't gonna be heavy lifting for you to just come, and I think as we got the information on the clerical and how you went through and did that and adjusted. So. So it only came down slightly, though. I was hoping for a little bit more. But that holds all the insurance, so. Because really, this is about $100,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
Little, yeah. Because really, it's 291,512. Because of 1,000. Do you guys have any questions for Melissa?
No.
I think it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Usually we ask questions, but I think because you had your numbers and were able to come to us with the estimate on the GIC and more
Yeah.
updated amounts, that's really helpful. And adjusting this, so this is great.
I mean, departmentally, there's not,
No.
there's not much there anyway, so
Yeah,
there
it's-
wasn't much change.
Right.
And the big ticket items are under the insurance, so that's
Yep.
where the real change goes. And
Right.
again,
The others is just informational,
Yeah.
really. Nothing changes there.
I'm just trying to understand, how we're doing historically overall, with our budgeting and our estimates on the insurance, but knowing that it's a flux and how we can have
Yeah.
our crystal ball and know what's going
I'll
on.
find a spreadsheet for that.
Yeah.
With her 800 spreadsheets.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was always quick, though, whenever you had a question for her, she always was very quick to
Yeah.
get it to you, so.
Well, that's what I said. I think she definitely anticipates or is, whenever I was asked this question, I'm always going to have these things available.
Yep.
So I'm looking at all the spreadsheets and I'm like, okay, I can start updating these
Yeah.
each year or whatever. I mean, it's only 16 days, so it's
Right.
a little.
Well, you'll have to get it organized and prioritize. I have a feeling there's probably a lot for you to prioritize right now.
Yeah.
Going through.
I walked in and on day one, I was already 5 days
Behind.
short of.
Yep.
I came in on the 11th of March and
Yeah.
the annual report was due to the board on Friday the 11th.
Yes.
And I was like,
No pressure.
No. No.
I already lost 5 days, everybody else got 2 weeks.
Well,
And so.
you know what, you'll
Yeah.
get there, and you just
And then
do
my
the best you
computer's been
can.
up and down, and again, I apologize for the delays in my responses.
Oh, I know.
The emails been
Email.
going down every afternoon, and then I had no computer. Afternoon, like, towards the end of the day on Thursday, and then I spent an hour and a half Friday morning with somebody on the phone.
Trying to fix it.
Great, don't tell
I
anybody.
know.
Yeah.
I hope it stays that way, but yeah, no email went down today or anything, so.
Oh, that's
Looks like
good.
we're on
There
the
you
It's like
go.
you're good there.
So-
Yeah.
It's all
You
good
know,
from here.
welcome, welcome,
welcome.
and it's gonna be a lot to catch up, but
Yeah.
you'll do it.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
This is probably the hottest time of the year.
Yeah,
I have another whole year to really get ready.
Right,
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna start now.
exactly. So you'll come
Whatever
up
we
with
can
your
do to
own
help.
way, and, yeah, let us know if you need anything.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Ask me if you need anything, just give me a couple of days.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Really happy to figure it out. If I don't know it, I'll find it.
All right.
Thank you all.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
All right, so it looks like we have the selectmen budget, but there's two budgets here. There's a regular budget, a real needs budget, and so we're gonna have to kind of go through that. I just want to look at so 2.02 and then a 6.07. So we really need to look at what the differences are between real needs and not.
Is that stable?
Then there was additional articles.
Yeah, we haven't through this yet.
No, I haven't either, so I mean,
Maybe we can
we should probably just,
process individually offline and then come back with
Yep.
our questions.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Because I think there's just too much if you have a difference between 2 and 6, so there's gonna be,
Tons of questions.
yes.
Okay.
Yep, yes, and look at the additional, I don't think we need to actually right now. Because there were no additional articles, it was
Page is
just,
blank.
It was
Yeah.
just a page to show.
It's just a,
it's, yeah, to show that's how he
placeholder?
puts his packet together.
Could be additional articles.
Could be, and then,
Okay, now I see.
the end one, which is really just a heads up for us, but,
Okay.
okay. So, I feel bad, Dan's not here, and he's probably not gonna get here for a while. I mean, I knew it was gonna be quick tonight. All right, well, we won't be able to vote, but let's, talk about okay.
I mean, should we, because we're gonna have to review this again with Dan when he gets here, right?
Yeah.
To vote on it. Can we
Yeah.
take like a 15-minute break and wait for him, do you
Yeah.
think? Want a motion to break?
Yep, somebody.
I motion that we take a approximately 15 to 20-minute break until we wait until Dan arrives, so we have a quorum.
Great.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Dan joined us. So we're back live, and just wanted to let you know, so we reviewed the two budgets with both Paula, the assessors, and Melissa, the new treasurer. The difference was Melissa brought new numbers for the GIC, coming in at a lower amount, and there was a small stipend and her, that Erica used to get, that she wouldn't get, and there's a difference in salary.
Okay.
So that brought the budget down. Let's see. We'll get you her packet that she kind of handed out so you can see it all there. It didn't, it moved overall, you know, a good amount, but, you know, we'll have more to come with that. So what we decided on the selectmen's budget, because if you look at your packet, the selectmen's budget has a 2% budget, then it has a real needs budget behind it. We're gonna take that offline, and everyone should just kind of go through that, ask questions, and then just send them questions, and then we can address at our next meeting,
Okay.
just to kind of look at that. And then the other item is, let's see. So we received in our finance committee bin over there, a request to transfer. So it looks like the Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to tear down a building over on Doobie Way, or Doobie Drive, and to remove it. So the cost is, they're looking for $8,443, and that's for the demolition and removal. I guess it looks like that they had to include the septic system and electric and water services.
This is coming from our fund.
So this would come from our fund, as it looks like that the Board of Selectmen, like I said, did vote unanimously for it, and then it's coming out of our budget to fund, and behind it is all the backup to support the amount. And there should be a few pieces. I'm just gonna add up the,
On the one invoice, or bid here, the one from, I guess it's the Town of East Bridgewater purchase order to Coote Brothers.
yeah,
They actually listed as a property on Whitman Street. Are they?
Yeah, you know what, it's because on this, unanimously approved the demolition and removal of the carriage house located on the Doobie Drive parcel property, which is located behind 134
behind.
Whitman
Yeah.
Street.
Okay,
So I
gotcha.
think they just picked that verbiage.
Gotcha, okay.
what? I'm just making sure all the backups here. And it looks like there's a lot of different pieces. But I think it's like from each. But I'm not sure. All right, I don't have the amount here. It adds up to $843. Disposal fees, that's what I'm missing, I guess. Disposal fees should total $3,011. But I don't have, after the 5432.
You might be on to something.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
I mean, there could be a double of something here.
Or we might be missing a piece
Yeah,
of paper. Okay, because we have 5432
yeah,
voucher backup.
yes,
We have 925.40.
Yep.
For Trojan recycling with backup.
correct,
We have 237.80.
Yes.
Disposal recycling with backup.
Yep.
And we have 390
with,
with backup. I'm assuming these are just work tickets in the back.
that's
And
what
that,
I'm assuming as
Totals
well.
$6,985.20.
what?
6,985.20.
I have,
I have the same as Laura.
What?
yep,
I have the same.
yeah, that's what I have as well.
So we're short 1457.80, so my guess is there's a
Correct.
voucher missing.
So there's something missing, definitely. So I'm not signing off on this until I see what that is. I don't know how you guys think about that.
Nope.
I agree.
I mean,
The math's gotta work.
math has to work. Yeah, for $1,600. Yeah, I'm checking all these and none of them have that.
Nope.
So,
Yep.
all right, well, so is everyone in agreement that we would need further, I guess, information on this? So they're looking for us to sign 3 of them. 3 copies, but I think we need the additional 6, what is it, 14?
1458, I think.
1457.80.
Yep. So we need backup for that before we can do that. But other than that, does anyone have any questions on this transfer or? Do you?
I do
No?
not.
Okay.
Done?
All right, so what I will do is I'll reach back out to Rebecca to see if she can track down the remaining backup for this. And then we'll go from there. We'll sign it once we get that. Everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I guess next order of business is, when is our next meeting? Last week, we had talked about if we meet on 4/1, we would meet on 4/8. I don't know if everyone still is in agreement with that. So I'm not sure if Melanie, just in the middle of tax season right now, so with the new tax laws, she's just coming up against some issues till tax season's over, I guess, so we got 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think if we plan on.
So if we're meeting next week, we should have,
I think.
we should have the Board of Selectmen discussion, just if we have any, and then we can all just come together, try to answer questions, and maybe create who we ask those questions to. And then our other item that we had talked about last week, next week I should have all the spreadsheets.
Okay.
But the other question that we had talked about last week is getting on the agenda for the 4/8, would it be? No,
No, because next week is the week we'll be waiting, so it would have to be the one after that, which.
Would be winning?
422.
Yeah, 4/22.
what do you mean winning?
No. If we're meeting 4/8,
Oh, yeah,
we wouldn't be able to do that, so the next selectmen's would be 4/22. Are you talking about getting on selectmen?
yes.
Yeah.
But they'll have, that will be the night of their restructuring anyway. Because the
Mm.
You're right.
election's 4/6.
Well,
So they'll be restructuring that night, which wouldn't matter to us.
That's fine. I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean,
that's a
I don't
big
think
deal.
that matters. No, I agree.
Yeah.
So should we meet Tuesday 4/9, or do you think we should just wait and get on the Board of Selectmen? See if we can do that for 4/20, what'd you say it was?
22. I think I had a conflict on Tuesday night, and didn't you have a conflict Tuesday?
I will
Yes.
be in Georgia.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we talked
So,
about maybe
yeah,
the Monday
that's-
night.
Right.
Right.
8. So, do you think we can do that instead?
Yeah. What I can do is check, I saw that your capital committee was canceled tonight.
Correct.
Do you have another one scheduled for next Monday, do you know?
At this time, no.
Okay. All right, so, I mean, I can meet Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think we should, at least let's discuss the Board of Selectmen,
We still need to review, yeah. and
what we
take-
want to do for that.
And we still have a couple more budgets. Either we didn't do DPW yet from
What-
last week. We didn't review
Oh,
we left off.
yes.
Where we left off in reviewing the budgets.
Yeah,
I think
we
only
could
had
do DPW tonight if you want, or we can postpone it. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, so we'd have DPW and then theoretically the two we saw tonight.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, those would be the only two we have left. But tonight, I mean, I don't really have any questions on that. It would just be more like statements, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, kind of that think about it after you leave kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to see, what else we have. So it looks like Board of Selectmen, I'll put out their assessors, DPW. And treasurer, just to go over any questions we have, anything outstanding on them. And then let's talk about the letter, or, you know, just getting on the Board of Selectmen for
22.
4/22. I can't, all right, and then, is that it? Is that all we have? Really? Anyone have anything else? Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I guess as long as there's 4 of us, that we can vote. So we should be able to do the transfer next week, if the 4, because like I said, I'm not sure about Melanie, if she'll be able to.
Yeah, we should consider what time we do it, because
Yeah.
that might matter to having.
To Melanie,
To
yeah.
having Melanie. I mean,
Well, should we go back to 7?
I would prefer earlier, only because
You're
I'm
going out of town the next day.
flying out at 6 a.m., so.
Yeah.
pulling all that.
Sorry.
Up all night.
But,
Let's talk with her and see what she can do,
So then,
because it would be great making sure that she's
Yeah.
gonna be there too,
Right,
but I mean, I
yeah.
can start any, before I say that, I should probably check, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can start
I know
anytime, too.
4/8, I'm good with any time. How about you, Crystal? How's your schedule for that?
I'm open that day.
You're open, okay.
Oh, I'm wide open, so I can do anything.
That's a game.
oh.
It's chaos during budget season.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have anything that night either. Okay, so that's the plan. I'll post it for 4/8. I'll reach out to Melanie just to see, confirm her time. You know, if she's waffling back and forth, I'm just gonna book it for 6 o'clock. Does that
Okay.
work?
Yes.
That's fine.
All right, so I'll book it for 6, and then we'll discuss the Board of Selectmen, any questions that you have after reviewing, because like I said, he did give a 2% and a real needs. And then any questions, review the assessors, DPW, treasurer, and getting on the 4/22 meeting.
Mhm.
What was your?
No, I was actually just gonna say,
And review
follow-
sheets.
And following up on some of our questions coming out of the last week's meeting.
Yeah.
We might wanna just have a quick 2-second conversation, because I think we do need to get some
We
of
do.
those answers to some of those
Yes.
questions.
So what I was gonna suggest with Jen no longer here with us, I think we need to figure out who's gonna be doing library and who's gonna be doing council on aging. Any volunteers for those? Because we did leave off where we need to address the library grid with Christopher McGee.
Right.
We need to address that. I think we didn't have any questions on, or did we? We said no.
I don't think.
It was just the difference on the council on aging, we just kind of had reviewed, said no to the, adding the person.
When and if we decide what the money is.
When,
yeah,
right, once we figure out money situation. But I think that was our big open was the library grid,
Mhm.
Correct.
and why it needed to increase 2% overall, and it shouldn't. Any volunteers for the library?
There was also a question about his contract and his salary in the contract.
Yeah.
If he
I don't
could,
know.
right, that's right.
I don't know.
And I think we wrote that down.
Yep.
I know, Dan, you can't do the library.
I can't.
No. I'll just do it. I can reach out.
I
That's
can,
fine.
I don't mind doing it either.
Yeah,
Want me to just do it?
sure.
Okay.
So it's the grid, his contract with how he said he wasn't gonna take a raise, and I think that was it, right? I mean, if he chooses to start that, the library, wherever, as long as he can fit it in his budget, however, we need the language in the contract about him with the raise. That may tie into the library trustees as well,
Yeah.
so that could open up a,
Okay.
start with him.
Yep, okay.
He's the person to start with,
Yep.
especially with the grid. Because why is the grid going up 2% every year? It shouldn't, because then you're starting out people up here when really probably the market is down here. But not even that, you're increasing it over year. So people are getting a 4%,
Right.
you know? Yeah, and why is there 3%? You were gonna ask that, why is there 3% between
Mm-hmm.
steps, but 2% each year? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was all written down, just,
Yeah, it's
you
all
have
in
it
my
all in
notes,
your
yeah.
notes from last year. So that's Library Council on Aging.
We can take that one.
All right, so you're gonna take Council on Aging, and then there's really nothing, I think, outstanding on that right now. Just when we get to the part where we're allocating the money, you know, to figure that out, how much everyone's gonna get, what they need, how much, and then if there's anything coming up that we need to let Nancy know about, we can do that.
Do we need to officially announce?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I did.
Okay.
So, let's see. And then,
So I will attempt to try and have all those answers for by Monday to review.
yes. Actually, to your point, with Jennifer Kitchenham no longer here as well, we do have 2 openings. However, we are this far along in the budget process. At this point, I think it makes sense to wait until FY '20. I'm not sure what everyone's thoughts are on that. Does anyone have
I
any?
agree.
I'd agree, because I don't think it's fair for somebody.
Yeah,
to
I mean, someone coming in at this point when we are at the end of the budget process, I think would be really hard. So I'm in agreement of waiting until FY '20. Anyone else?
I agree with that.
Okay. All right, should we vote on that? Just, I don't think we even need to vote on that, do we? Yeah, we probably should.
Oh, you know.
All right, so I'd entertain a motion to wait on the 2 openings. Does anyone want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to wait for to fill the 2 vacancies until fiscal year 20.
Second.
Okay, second. Any discussion? I think it just makes the most sense with where we are in the budget process, so. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So sounds like we have a lot going on. A lot going on between now and next week even, so we'll go from there. All right. All right, I'll also enter, are we ready?
I think we are.
All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Thank you.
All right, great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.